And it's just one of those moments where it was just like, is this fueled by hatred? Is this fueled by boredom? Like, what do they want from us? There's no going back. Squad ain't with me. Hello to everybody and their moms. It's your girl Kristen here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very intense and very juicy story time prepared for you. So definitely make sure to buckle up, get ready, grab a snack. Today I'm spilling all of the good stuff, all of it, okay? Right now I'm taking advantage of as much natural light as I can, but the sun is going down, which is actually fitting considering how this story is going to be told to you. So yeah, if the light changes, just don't be fazed. And if you're new here, definitely make sure to subscribe and let's go ahead and get started. So if you are the title of this video, then yes, you would know that I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that my sister and we were followed home. Sydney and I actually went to go work out. This happened like less than a year ago. We went to go work out. We were going running, but at a trail near where we live. And then the sun started to go down. We were like, okay, let's head back home. So we hop into our car and we're exiting the park and this car pulls up behind us, right? We don't think anything of it because it's like, hello, this is a public park. Like, we're not gonna automatically assume that this is some like creepy person. And so we turned down the road and the way that we decided to head home is this back road. It's quicker than the main roads near where we live, just because we kind of live, I would consider it kind of the country, but also not really the country. It's just kind of in that middle ground there. So like HEBs are up the road, like we're not in the middle of nowhere, but it is kind of far away. So going on this back road is like the quickest way to make it home, especially considering how dark it was getting. So on this back road, the speed limit is 35 miles per hour, right? Like it's a tiny, thin little road, rocky little moment. I wouldn't even really call it a road, almost like gravel. Like it is in bad shape, okay? Pretty much we're driving down this road and that car is behind us. And so Sydney's like, okay, it's dark. There's wildlife that's gonna be crossing the road. Like I wanna stay at the speed limit. But this car is like right on the tail end of our vehicle. Like he's right there. And so we're just like, why doesn't he just go around? Like there's nobody there. Like he can easily go around us, but like, okay, go off, I guess. And so Sydney feels inclined to speed up a little bit, despite the fact that it's like, okay, we're trying to actually follow the law, but we don't want him to hit our car. And so we're like, okay, we'll speed up. So now we're going 45 in a 35 on a rickety little road that winds and bends and there's wildlife, right? And the sun is setting and it's a little bit of a stressful situation, but we're just like, okay, maybe he lives near here. He's just trying to get home. We don't know his circumstances, not a big deal. So we live this direction, right? So like we're approaching this stop sign. And so we're like, okay, we know we live to the right, but we'll act like we're going to the left. So we put a blinker on for the left and the guy behind us put a blinker on for the left. And we're like, okay, dope. Like he's gonna turn left and we'll be fine. So last minute, we just turn right instead of going left and he also turns right. So like, sir, I just want y'all to think for a second. Sir, you said you're going to the left, okay? You were giving us a little Beyonce Irreplaceable moment, okay? All your stuff to the left. What are you going to the right for? So we were like, this is just a little bit real. Like it just became a little bit real. We don't know what is going on. So we turned down the road and like the speed limit for the road that eventually will turn to our neighborhood, which we turned on, is 55 miles per hour. We're going 65, okay? Now this is actually a road, like it's not like the little back road, but there's still wildlife. We're trying to speed our ways up there, trying to get home. And so we eventually just turn left and get into the neighborhood. He also turns left and turns into the neighborhood. So we tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. We were like, maybe he's just in a hurry because maybe he knows somebody in this neighborhood, okay? Like maybe he's like a friend of a friend. You know, maybe he's a cousin or uncle of someone that lives in our neighborhood. Like we were just trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt because I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where it feels like someone's following you and then it's like last minute they turn and go somewhere else and you're like, oh. Of course they weren't following me. Like that's what we were hoping would be this moment. We were like, okay, maybe he'll turn and there's different opportunities to turn before you get to where we live. So we were like, okay, he's gonna turn now. And then he didn't. And we were like, okay, now. How about now?
Now? No.
Okay, so we were like, okay, this is getting a little weird. This is getting a little weird. Just to give you some perspective to get out of our neighborhood, it's like a good I would say 5 to 7 minutes. It's a long drive and there's only one entrance and one exit. So it's a juicy minute. So that's why we're just like, he's really out here staying with us, I guess. So at this point, we're almost home, right? We're approaching our house. And one thing I do want to say is that my sister is an avid listener to this podcast called My Favorite Murder. Shout out to the murderinos out there because Sydney put me on. And I am an avid viewer of Criminal Minds and Law & Order SVU. Okay, those are my shows. Shout out to Captain Benson. Okay, if you know, you know. So the point is, we had a little bit of knowledge of crime and just people, you know, giving you a little bit of off vibe, these type of situations. And so we were like, let's not head home. There's one more area where we can turn that is a cul-de-sac before we get home. So let's take advantage of that. Let's turn there, okay? And then let's see what this guy does. So we didn't put on a blinker or anything. We just turned to the cul-de-sac and the guy keeps going straight. So we're like, okay. We were freaking out for no reason. It's fine. But you can do like a little drive-through moment to turn yourself around, like a hokey pokey moment. Okay, anyways, so we turned and we were like, okay, we should be fine. So at the end of the cul-de-sac, right, where we had turned in, where we had entered, on the way out, there's a stop sign. So we stopped at the stop sign and what do you know? In the direction where the guy had kept driving, he had hit his brakes and you could see like the tail lights on and he was in reverse. He was coming back. He was going backwards. Like it was, oh my God. So in this situation, it's like, what else can we do? Do we want to go down the road? Again, this is like a 5 to 7 minute drive in our neighborhood. Do we want to turn around and head back out? Or do we just want to go home? So Sydney presses the gas, gets around his car, and we drive up our driveway. Our driveway, like where we live on our house, it's at an incline. So to go up the driveway, she immediately parked in like where we have these spots outside of our garage and turned off the lights and turned off the car. There's this moment where you can just hear our hearts beating. Like that's the only sound you hear. And we're just sitting there and we're like, just scared out of our minds. So then the next question is, how are we going to get inside our house? Like, how are we going to get in without him catching it? Like, it's just so many factors to consider. Do we have to run? Will they be driving up? Do they have a gun? Do they have a weapon? These are just real questions that had to go through our head. So what we decided to do is we called our mom. And of course, this would be the one time that my dad was not in town. Like my dad was not here. I was like, hello, sir. You're supposed to be here, okay? What's going on? So my mom though, shout out to my mom. My mom is actually a military veteran. So, I mean, get into it. My mom is, she's very powerful, okay? I will say that. And so my mom, we call her and we're like, Mom, we're outside the house and some guy followed us home. We're like absolutely hysterical. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna open the garage. Y'all are gonna run in and then we're gonna close the garage. So as we're like sitting there, we're just like, oh no, we don't think that's a good idea. Like we're just nervous. As we're sitting there, the car that had been following us crept down the road like slow. And then he passed right by our house and he hit his like horn like 3 times as if to kind of say, you're hiding, but I see you. I know where you live. Like it was very creepy, okay? But then he kept driving, but at the end of like where we live is another cul-de-sac. So eventually he would have to turn back around and it would give him the prime opportunity to just be exactly where he wanted to be. So it was go time. We're like, okay, open the garage. My mom opens the garage. And so we run, we literally track star vibes. Okay, like I want you to imagine like you're on the blocks. They just started the gun, like ready, set, go. Like we bolted. Usain Bolt would have been left behind. Like, that's how fast we were running, okay? So we get inside, she closes the garage. Inside our house, we have a security system. So we arm the security system, we put on the alarm. And so like, if the doors were to open at any moment, then the police actually get notified. And then we take my phone and we call the police. And so we called them and then they were like, hello, like, what can we do to help, you know? And we're like, excuse me, someone just followed us home. We like described the entire scenario. Like, we are absolutely hysterical, like freaking out, looking out the window, like trying to see where the car is, but it's dark. So it's like, we don't know what, like, we don't know where these people are. What if they're in our driveway? What if they're outside our door? We don't know what the heck is going on. And so we're just on edge and we're describing the situation. They're like, okay, we're gonna send out some patrols out there. Like, we're gonna send some people out there. And so all we could do is just wait and sit inside the house and kind of sit away from the windows and away from the door. It was just very scary, very tense. Didn't feel comfortable to even go to the bathroom. Didn't feel comfortable to go anywhere else. Not that our house isn't safe. Like, again, we have a security system, we have cameras. It's just a fact that it was just like, what do they want from us? Like, we didn't do anything. We didn't have a road rage moment. We didn't cut them off. There was no flashing of signs. It just felt, I don't know what to pinpoint it as, but at the time, like where our country was at, it just felt very tense, very scary. Genuinely, it felt absolutely terrifying. And it's just one of those moments where it was just like, is this fueled by hatred? Is this fueled by boredom? Like, what do they want from us? So the police eventually are roaming through the neighborhoods and then like they call us back and they're like, hey, like, we don't see anything suspicious or anyone suspicious. Like, we're not seeing any marked vehicles. And I had like described the vehicle to them and everything. And like, they were like, we don't see what you guys have been describing. Like, none of that. We will put a report on file. We have it date and stamped and all that kind of good stuff. But they were like, we don't see anything. Oh my God. Which is, you would think that it'd be a good thing to hear that. But at the same time, it's like, no, I want you to catch them. I would rather you say, oh, we found them. You know, they're being detained or something. I'd rather them be snatched in a way, you know, not this like, oh, they know where we live now and they're gone. Not a fan of that at all. And we just had to be like, okay, you know, and they're like, if they come back, you know, just call again. But it's like, again, we're far away from things. So it just did not feel like a safe situation. And the rest of the night, we just could not sleep. Just like, eyes are open, you're hardly blinking, every little sound, like the AC turns on, the fan is blowing, you're just like what is it? Like, did you hear that? All those types of vibes. That is the whole entire story. They have not came back. If you were curious, like, oh, I want to update, like, they've not came back. We still go down that road. Like, nothing has really changed in our routine or anything like that. The one thing I will say is that if you ever find yourself in a similar situation like my sister and I were in, where you're being followed, do not do like what we did. Do not drive home, okay? We drove home because, one, we have a security system that's like pretty top notch, and also because I think we were just so exhausted after being, you know, after running. Imagine running and it's like, I gotta deal with this, like, I can barely keep my eyes open, you know? But if you're ever in a situation like that, do not drive home. Drive to the nearest police station. So, I don't know. Anyways, if you're seeing my face, congratulations, you've made it to the end of this video. If you happen to enjoy it, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also make sure to subscribe. Every now and then I do happen to do story times, and I don't know, it feels good to sit down and just talk to you guys. So if you would like more story times, I have plenty of stories to tell. Definitely just let me know. And I'm also gonna put my weekly subscriber goal onto the screen. Oh, my puffs are in the way again. But if you feel like this is something that you can help me out with, definitely make sure to do so. I would really, really appreciate it. I also have an Instagram. You can definitely check me out there. I'll put my feed like right here. It's looking kind of cute lately. It's been kind of snappy. I'm very proud of it. But yeah, definitely head over there, double tap a couple photos, come and say hey. I promise you I'll say hey back. Also, definitely make sure to hit the bell notification, turn on all my notifications so you don't miss a single upload. I would argue that it's a win-win situation. So definitely make sure you click that bell. And I'm pretty sure that's everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.